Mhm. Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Hey, Gwen, Broke Cowgirl.
Good morning, Gwen.
I think we'll wait until everybody gets in before we get going on that.
Okay.
What's your Halloween costume for today?
So you're seeing it. Oops. I'm not doing a Halloween costume today, but I did sew on a tail for the grandbaby.
Nice.
He's going to be where the wild things are, that little character on there with the little
Oh,
boy with the ears and the tail. Oh, here's
oh,
Heather.
cute.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hi.
Heather.
Hey, Heather.
Hi.
Good to
Welcome.
see you. Welcome. Hey, Devin,
Thank
our new
you.
land. Good to see you guys.
So we're talking Halloween costumes, and Mountain Grandma says we're looking at her. She's not dressing up, and I'm playing a cold person from South Dakota. So pretty much my normal attire with a nice hot cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
guess
there you
who,
go.
Nancy?
How about you, Heather?
Well, I've got myself some tea. I got myself a new cup yesterday.
Oh, I love it.
We went to a thing called the Hoot Nanny, which our church did at like a big farm. So we got to go and tour around all the animals, and they had all kinds of games and stuff. So it was
Oh,
fun.
how fun.
Nice.
Oh, Gwen, I'm sorry to hear about that.
Oh, yeah. And you winterized everything too. Hey, guess who, Nancy? Hey, Devin, our new land.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
So everybody who's coming into the chat, I don't know if you've had an opportunity to meet Heather with Milk and Honey Heritage Farms, but Heather, thank you so much for joining us today. We're super excited to have you.
Yeah.
Hey, Nanny Tam.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for joining. And if you would like to take a minute and just kind of introduce yourself and your channel.
Okay, so my channel's Milk and Honey Heritage Farms, and I'm Heather. So I've been wanting to do a YouTube page for years, and I just never got enough courage. And so my friends and family and stuff are just like, just do it. So I started doing it, and I'm just kind of showing things that I do anyways, and hoping that maybe it's something someone likes to see or doesn't know, or I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of.
And you have some great content. Do you want to tell everybody about where you live and share a little bit about your homestead? Oh, yep. Yes, Lisa.
Can I just, before you do that, Heather, can I just interject?
Sure.
So it's really funny. I feel the same way, right? Things that were not obvious to me are sometimes not obvious to others, and yet they're super obvious to others, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I bring this up because we all know the shorts work differently here, and the shorts go on the short shelf. So I'm sharing this story for a reason, so bear with me. So I shared a short on the heated dog bowls, right?
Right.
Because what we do is we cut the cord off so we know they're not working, so we don't play the game of,
oh gosh, which one's working?
Which one's working,
like
which one's
Christmas
not.
lights. Yeah.
Because I'm convinced that they put them out so early, then they're gone. And the ones that are left, if there are any, like in January and February when they die and you really need one, they are super expensive because people know you're going to need them, right? So anyway, I shared the short of we cut it and we keep them and we use them in the summer. Aside from all the nasty comments that I got about Captain Obvious, right? Here's the funny thing. I wanted to reply, but I won't fight online, is but you know what? Between Instagram and YouTube, about 7,000 people or more have watched that video. And I can see that they're watching it in its entirety. They're not like, so I'm hoping someone gains something out of that, because people do tend to throw those things away. It's not working. Toss it.
That's right.
So anyway, that's my rant for today.
Right. Well, yeah.
But tell us about you, Heather.
Okay, so I'm a little over 10 years ago, my family bought property, and we have just about 12 acres. And I had been doing a lot of research before we moved on how I wanted to structure like fence lines and stuff like that. And I wanted to have like an alleyway down the middle of it so we could make it easier to rotate. So when we found our property, there was no fencing.
That is a great idea.
Yeah, no house. All we had was a sand filter, a pole barn, and then some building. So we had to have a house built and do all the fencing. And at that time, all we had was horses. We don't currently have horses now, but I wanted Dexter cows because they were smaller, and I thought it would be maybe a little more manageable and easier to work with, which turns out to be true. We had pigs. We done pigs in Berkshire because they were well marbled. We have 2 goats, and then 2 years ago we got chickens, and of course we have dogs, and lots of gardens and things like that. And so basically why we wanted to do this is when my husband and I met, I said, there's no way our children will ever be able to get their own property. It's going to be difficult. I just had that gut feeling way back.
Yeah.
We met. And so I thought, well, and I wanted to go back to like what our grandparents and our great grandparents did, you know, with farms and working as much as they can and just kind of that aspect. So I'm working on it, and we've got honeybees and
that is awesome.
I just posted her channel link. If you will pin it to the top of the chat, please, because there's another one, right, with an S.
Yes. Well, okay. So that is my mistake. So when I was on YouTube watching different channels and stuff, that's who I was. And I didn't realize that I could make a channel on that same thing. So I created Milk and Honey Heritage Farms with the Z, and realized later that I could have just done it on the one that I was using for my sign-in name.
Oh, so it's both you.
It's both me, but I don't use the other one.
Yeah. Well, just want to make sure people go to the active channel.
Yeah, the one with the Z on the end is the active channel.
Got it.
Good catch, Lisa. I didn't even know that because I've always been using, I guess, a link to get to you or something. I never had to search.
Yeah, and I've been using in my tags, like including like my Milk and Honey Heritage Farms in it, so it'll pull up easier. Hopefully.
Yeah, it does. I found that. I used to do that all the time.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good to know about the Dexter cows too. So usually people start with chickens. You guys started with cows?
Yeah, we did.
Well, how many cows did you get to start?
Oh my goodness. So the neighbor lady had cows, and she had one Dexter cow, and she was going to sell it. So we bought her from the neighbor lady. And I was like, well, she can't be an only cow. So I found another cow a couple hours away, not too far away, that had like a 3-month-old baby, which she is mini Hereford, the ones that are red with the white face. Anyway, so I named her Mama Cow. So Mama Cow came trailered here so that the Dexter cow, Lovely, wasn't alone. And then across the river, like an hour away, some lady had almost full Dexter baby bull that the Dexter mom didn't want. Like it would not eat or anything. And she just couldn't with her work, take care of the baby cow. So I took my car and I went over there and I put this little baby bull cow in my car.
In your car? Oh my goodness.
So I brought him back and we bottle fed him for like 6 months. And so now that's Otis. If you've seen any of my videos, Otis is the bull, and he's 3/4 Dexter and 1/4 Shorthorn. So that's why he's got a little bit more white on him. But yeah.
Is he good and gentle?
Yeah, he is. You can pet him through the fence, but if you go in there, he's like baby Herman or whatever. It's like, oh, how exciting! So, yeah, he's a good boy. So
He'll love you to death.
yeah, you want to probably not go in, but you can scratch his back and his head and stuff like that, and he
Yeah.
likes
That's
it.
cool. And what
And
state are you in?
Oh, I'm in Northwest Oregon.
Beautiful there. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the colors are so beautiful, and we kind of live like up on a hill, kind of like, and so the sunsets and the sunrises are just
Oh my gosh, gorgeous, I'll bet,
always,
huh?
always, yeah, beautiful.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
awesome. And you also do a lot of on your channel cooking and canning and sewing.
And
I know,
collabs.
I do a lot of things. I don't have one hobby. In the summer, spring, summer, and fall, I'm always gardening. I'm outside like, I don't know, probably 14, 15 hours a day, like taking care of animals, mowing, weed whacking, planting, watering, all the things, and then the winter time is when I get to focus on how am I going to plant my new gardens, learning what I did wrong or what I want to do, more indoor. I still have to do the outdoor, taking care of the animals in the morning and the night, but I get to focus a little more on crafts and things like that.
Yeah. Speaking of gardening, what zone are you there?
We're zone 8A.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't get real cold there.
No, not typically.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Hey, Jody.
So you really could almost like garden year round then, huh?
We do get like down into like the low 30s, and sometimes we'll have a few days where it's below that, but it's a little too rainy sometimes in the winter or the spring. It depends what year. So a lot of things will get too soaked.
Yeah.
So I think if you had like a greenhouse, maybe a little bit heated.
Thank you, Nanny.
Hey, Christy.
Yeah.
Hey, Christy.
So we have like 2 gardens. We have one behind the barn, and then I have an orchard, and then in the orchard
Thank you, Nancy.
Wow, thank you. I have my honeybees, and then I have like all my different berries. Every year I try to add a couple more berries, and I have lavender. I have 70 white lavender plants.
Oh my goodness, that is awesome. I was hoping that our lavender plant, because we have a lavender plant down behind my daughter's house. We've got the 2 homes on the 15 acres here. And down behind her house, she's got lavender. And I was hoping that it would, really grow more than what it did. So I need to kind of nerd out on growing lavender.
Yeah,
you should do a video on that.
Right. Sometimes some plants, when you plant them, you're like, I don't know if it's.
It was already there.
Oh, so it was already there.
It was already there and established. And I just expected it to just come back and be wonderful. But maybe there wasn't pruning that needed to be done that we didn't do, or something happened.
You'll trim it down in the winter. That's what I usually do. And then you'll want to
put winter is in late fall, or like winter when snow is on the ground?
Like when the leaves all fall off is best, because then you can see which angle everything's going and stuff like that. Gives you a better view. And then put
how far do you should totally do a video on this.
I should, right?
Because it's one thing that I've kind of figured out this year when I grew some new stuff is that there was a lot of things that were growing that were already here. That maybe, I didn't know. I mean, there's only so much time to study everything you're growing and do it all right. You can look up a couple of things, you give it your best shot, and you're like, oh shoot, I missed that that instruction. I
Yeah,
didn't
you
do
can get to
that.
water it enough or something happens.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Something goes awry there. So, lavender's one I need to learn more about. So you should sounds like you are a lavender guru. You should just do a video on that for me.
I should. And so last
Mhm.
winter, I didn't trim my lavender because we
Mhm.
have had some significant drought and
Uh-huh.
heat going on here. So I
Mhm.
thought, well, I'm going to let it get bigger
Yeah.
so that maybe it'll survive. So I've got a
Mhm.
little bit extra, and I'm hoping next year it won't be so dry. Because
Mhm.
normally, like our grass barely starts drying out at the end of September. And
Mhm.
this year, by the beginning of August, our grass was totally yellow everywhere.
Mhm.
It was
Uh-huh.
like it looked like we were like from Arizona or something.
Right.
Not normal this year.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I can
I
remember as a kid when we moved to Arizona from Oklahoma, because that's where I'm from. But we moved out there, and then I've been in Arizona most of my life, right? But when we moved there, I can remember as a kid looking out the car window and telling my parents, everything's dead. Everything's dead. Because that is really coming from a green place to Arizona. That's your first inclination, is it
oh
all
my god.
died.
Yeah, it looked like Eastern Oregon tends to look a lot more drier
Uh-huh. Towards the
than
Idaho side.
yeah,
Mhm.
and then the part that I live in is like all green,
Mhm.
you know.
Oh, it's so beautiful there. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so with the lavender, you should share like also how to propagate it.
Yeah, yeah,
And
it's
that
hard.
would be awesome.
It's a
Mhm.
hit and a miss. So you gotta do like
Oh,
quadruple
thank you, Lisa.
quadruple. So
Mhm. Yep.
oh yeah, you're getting there. Are you excited
I
for the
am. It's so
marathon?
fun. I have a long way to go with watch hours. So,
Oh
That's
yeah.
all right.
um,
Do you have a
I'll share what
playlist?
we're talking about. What is it? I'm sorry.
Do you have a playlist?
I do. I've got playlists. And there
You
I
should
got
have a
everything.
playlist with everything in it.
I have an everything playlist.
Yep, binge watch. There you go.
Okay.
And I need to
Yeah.
make sure I go back and make a playlist for our lives too, because I don't have one of
Yeah,
those. But
because they're an hour long, so you can get some more
Mhm.
time on that. Mhm.
Yeah, that's what but I've noticed that YouTube is putting my videos out now. Like you can see and I didn't realize that was a thing until I mean, I knew they did it. I just didn't know that you could tell that they did it. But when you go into like overview and YouTube Studio, it'll say YouTube recommendations. So they're actually recommending your
Oh,
videos.
that's
So they've been,
nice.
yeah, I didn't know
Yeah.
that. I didn't know that was a thing. So they've been doing that, and it's
Oh
been.
yeah, once you hit 500, they'll do it.
Oh wait, they
Well,
waited. They waited on me.
well, no, I shouldn't say that. Some they will, some they won't. I
Mhm.
don't know the rhyme or reason. So
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
probably
it's
a
it's
lottery.
fun. This is something that I enjoy because it really gives me an opportunity to learn and to also talk to people who are like-minded, and you make friends and have find people that share the same interests. And you would be surprised, there's like out there, just up the road, around the corner, people that you work with, there's not that many people you're going to find that necessarily have as many interests, until you come into a community.
Yeah.
Like we have a wonderful community here, and it's awesome to be able to just get to know other content creators and learn from them.
It is because there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of content creators in Oregon.
Yeah, there isn't.
same.
Yeah. So
Mhm. Yep.
it's like it's
Or in
weird
South
when
Dakota. Yeah.
I tried researching and searching and searching, and all the people that I follow are like East Coast.
Yep.
So,
They're
Yep,
all like Oklahoma,
same.
Arkansas, Missouri.
yeah,
And I moved to
Missouri,
Missouri.
Tennessee, and
And
Oklahoma,
Tennessee. Yeah.
yeah.
because everybody moved to
And
And
Tennessee.
Georgia.
North Carolina is
Yep,
huge.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah. Easier to
So
grow here.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know. So I don't know how many really there are out there. I haven't really been finding any, and some of the ones that I
You're the
found,
only Oregon homesteader that
yeah,
I know.
I found a
Mm-hmm.
couple of them, and their videos are like 3 years old. nothing new. And I'm like,
Do you look
Yeah.
on Instagram?
no, I haven't really been on Instagram yet. That's
Yeah.
one of my goals this winter. While I have
Because
time.
I connected with a lot of like North Dakota Instagram accounts. They're not on YouTube, but
Yeah.
also some other South Dakota farms that way.
Okay. I have a lot of family in North Dakota and South Dakota. Nice.
Yeah, beautiful places.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
It's neat to see them like from somebody else's perspective or where they're at versus having to pay to go or take
Yep.
because it's hard to leave your farm. You guys probably know that for very long. Like,
Oh, that's cool, Nanny Tam.
Yeah, I agree, Heather.
Yeah.
So tell us about some of the collaborations you have going on right now.
Yeah. So we have me and Gail Southern Living have a collaboration where you can dress up an old homestead like bonnet or apron if you'd like. What we're trying to do is like get people to do like maybe something grandma or great grandma or something you can find that's old, like cooking or crafting. You could do both or either or, just to kind of like put your hands into something that's something we used to do, like relearn it or learn it or be able to share with others so they can go, oh, that's pretty neat, or
I think that's cool. So what's the name of it and what is the time frame for that?
Let me open up my book so I don't mess up.
Okay.
Totally get it.
I don't want to mess that up.
That's me too, Heather.
I know. I got it. My notes. If it's not something routine, then
yeah, Tennessee was when we were looking to move. Hey, Nanny Tam, does that mean is your name Tammy? Is this a fellow Tammy? But when we were looking to move from Arizona, we were looking between Arkansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, and Tennessee was also something we considered, and Kentucky. That's kind of like our area.
Yeah, kind of, and they're kind of similar weather-wise, aren't they?
Yeah, similar weather-wise. Yeah, and we were like, our decision was based around like gun laws and stuff too. Gun laws, population density, water, and not in that order because it was really water, gun laws, population density.
Yeah.
Oh, a fellow Tammy. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. So there's a lot of collaboration. So Gail Southern Living is trying to do every Thursday a list of all different collaborations.
Yeah, she does.
So
I
that's
love that.
nice to go to one place to find all of those. So
yeah.
But
Hey, Rebecca.
Hey, Rebecca. Yeah, I think that is awesome because there's so many, skills and talents, and whether it be art or cooking or whatever, just these old ways of doing things that get lost. They ended up, maybe they didn't get handed down to their child and then they never make it to the grandchild. You know how, kids are. They always
like
brown downplay what the folks do, right?
I didn't even realize when I learned brown sugar was so easy to make with just molasses. Like I had no clue. And it's like that's the skill that I didn't get. So the collaboration that Gail Southern Living and my channel are doing is Homestead Crafts N with the letter N recipes. And you can dress up if you want or not. Or make an outfit.
So Homestead Crafts and what?
Recipes.
And recipes? Okay.
Yeah. And it's just doing like, old recipe type things or old crafting games, things like that you might know about or want to learn.
That's awesome. That's
month of November. So
for starting tomorrow. through the month of November.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Hi, Huga.
Hey, Huga. So, and you also joined in our sourdough collaboration. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, that was good. I had made it before, but I never made bread from the sourdough.
Uh-huh.
So I did, and it turned out great.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Good
I'm
family
baking
food.
today, finally.
Are you, Lisa? Awesome.
Yeah. In
Oh
fact,
my
when I get
gosh.
off, I'm going to preheat my oven and get it baked.
Awesome.
The weather got really cold. And so even though it doubled early on, it was hard to get it going. It was a little slow.
Yeah.
So
it is. Yeah.
I put it, I had posted yesterday on Instagram that when you pass the deadline and need to get the video up, and your sourdough starter
that totally happens to
is
me.
not cooperating. So I put it behind the shelf behind the pellet stove, and it actually did well.
Awesome.
That's a good idea.
I wanted to I don't know if anybody has gone over and caught up with Lisa's video recently that she shared about Waylon, but kudos, Lisa, for first off identifying that something wasn't right with your animal. I mean, and it was kind of, and correct me if I'm wrong, but he was like shivering and like lifting a foot, and it was cold. I mean, like 30 something degrees cold.
It was 39, 40 degrees, and he should not be cold at that temp.
Yeah. And she's like, this doesn't seem right. And she was on it, taking care of that baby that depended on her.
Caught pneumonia just because of the temperature fluctuations. Sometimes that can happen, but then you decided worming was best, and
we deworm the piglets at 8 weeks old. They get dewormed in utero, then we do it at 8 weeks old, and then I think we did it at 7 actually, because that's when some of the others left, because we do it before they leave. And then they stay here a day or two to make sure they're okay. And so he was due, just about due for it again. So he was wormed on like September 1st. And it wasn't even 8 weeks.
That feels like it wasn't even that long ago.
Yeah, that's crazy, because you're like on a good schedule of worming them, and they had like
tons.
I don't worm my animals unless I see like the body, like if I see something like you did, then I'll get active about it. But we try to stay away from stuff like that.
Yeah, I do it because I do it more as prevention, because there really isn't a vet here to look at him. So even the vet that helped us, he's not always available because he's older and he's got his own struggles with illness. And even when I went to go see him, I didn't bring the piglet with me. Like my husband and I went, described everything, and he went through his books and gave us some antibiotics and a steroid just in case there's inflammation, all that kind of thing. I mean, did he get it unnecessarily? Yeah, but we didn't know. So we did it because all of that withdrawal period will be long gone by the time we eat it. So I'm not a stickler like that, because he'll be with us for over a year. Same thing with wormers. They will make it through the system. And so I think what caught me off guard is the fact that he had worms after we wormed.
Yeah.
He thought it was something else. We really didn't have a definitive diagnosis, so I'm not getting into that. But the bottom line is we weren't sure what was wrong with him, but something was up. Ryan went down and went through his manure and said, oh yeah, he's got worms. But I'm glad that, when we treated him with the penicillin and the steroid, we decided to deworm him right away anyway, because the next day we knew right away what was going on. So he only got 2 injections of each, which is good, because the worms will cause inflammation in his system and can cause an infection because they compromise the lining. So it's actually good that he got those
Yeah.
injections. So.
Yeah.
And I saw Monica Bland's Promised Land Ranch. She replied that she had lost a pig from that. So I
Yep.
thought that was pretty awesome that you shared. And if everybody goes and watches the video, she shares exactly like what she saw, how he was doing, the medications that were prescribed, along with like dosage and frequency, which I thought was kind of cool. And everything. I feel like it really sucks that that happened, but there's no telling how many people you helped from that video.
Oh, I hope so. I mean, because, I was doubting myself because I put them in the turkey pen. And when I first put them in the turkey pen, I researched what could go from species to species before. I always do that.
Yeah.
The only thing that was there was like a pneumonia kind of thing. And the turkeys weren't sick, so I felt confident in it. I still don't know if that's what happened, right? But then later on, like a lot of things, when you go to research specifically, when you know what it is,
When you know what it is,
then you find out, okay,
terms in there.
Right. So even though I use lime and DE, I'm trying to figure out a way to treat the pen just to kill eggs because we get really, really cold. But, I just want to contain this because they lay millions upon millions upon millions of eggs a day.
Wow.
So, we dewormed everybody that same day again early just to make sure that it wasn't anything, wind blowing eggs, right?
Yeah, right.
Because I don't need everybody getting sick. But I mean, I will say this, when they get worms in their poop, it's very obvious.
It's bad. Yeah.
Like the
look like something you go fishing with.
The sheer amount of the sheer size and amount coming out of this little guy,
this little baby pig,
was mind blowing. They're still coming out of him. And now he'll get the second treatment on Friday. We've decided to do an injection of Dectamax, which will help mange and mites and all that. But he'll get that, and then we'll see what else. And of course, we're treating him and Hank together. Obviously, it's always recommended you separate your animals. I did not this time, and I'll tell you why. I thought it would cause them more stress. Because
and it's cold. Don't they get
cold? And I thought it would cause them more stress. So that was the risk we took. But he just did better with his brother there. Because they snuggled and all that. But please understand, if you do that, that's a risk because you could lose them both. But we made that decision because it just seemed better overall for the animal.
Pigs like to do piggy piles and keep warm, and they don't have a lot of hair. And they don't sweat, so.
So they've got a lot of extra bedding. I've been cleaning out their bedding because I think when Waylon wasn't feeling well, he was, using the barn. But when we warm up, or once this is over, we will go through cleaning the barn out again and making sure that that's clean. Yeah, sure. Go ahead, CB.
Let's hear it.
Let's hear it.
So I think it's really good to watch a lot of different animal videos and things like that, depending on what animals you have, even ones you don't have, and going through like what Lisa, listening to Lisa and seeing and hearing, and like the other channel because not that you will be able to diagnose your own animal, but you might have a better clue of what direction you need to go at, especially it is hard to find animal farmers, or they want you to travel them to them, and that's difficult. Like we don't have to travel our animals around. But we do have one that's like an hour away, that a big farm animal if we need to come.
Oh my goodness, CB, that's awesome.
CB, that is the best news ever.
Congratulations. Yes, praise the Lord. Congratulations.
That's good. Really good.
That is wonderful.
That was worth sharing for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, thrilled for you. Wonderful, wonderful news.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So the good thing is
Hey,
he is
Jan.
better. Oh, hey Jan. So he is better now. He's active. He's first one out the barn again for food. He so hopefully this will be behind us. I mean, I always like to say he's better, but I don't ever want to say, oh yeah, he's perfect. You know,
Whenever I see your pigs, I just want to go and like cuddle with them and scratch them because
aren't they the cutest?
Yeah, we had some.
I would love to have Cootie Coonies, and I'd love to have Lisa's Coonie Coonies.
Yeah,
like some of her offspring, because they are so adorable and sweet and good natured.
They are. They're a good bunch. They've all been raised since piglets, and they're all hand raised. So you know, it's a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun, and you know, even though those two guys are for meat, okay, they still get all the love that everyone else gets, which is the reality. And they get all the care, and we enjoy them so much. I laughed because we looked at Waylon. You know, Waylon's always been it's hard to pick it up on the video, but Waylon is so heavy that I can't pick him up over a fence anymore. And that's because he's, you know, a pig.
Yeah.
Squealing, screaming, dramatic, right?
Wiggling his little feet around. Yeah.
Yeah, because he got out of the net fencing because I forgot to plug it back in, and I got him, and he got wiggling so bad. I had all I could do to get him over the fence and get him safe on the ground. But he's probably about 35 pounds, ready.
That's hard to go up.
Yeah, well, it's hard when he's like this.
Yeah.
And then don't forget your back when they're going down. Because I had that with Ladybug, you know, our little goat, that she just loved to be held. And you guys, she'd put her head right here and let me hug her. It was the sweetest everything ever. Oh my gosh. And then as she got bigger, my husband had to be the one to lift her.
Yeah.
And now I think like he could still lift her, but
well, it's funny because so you know, you know, like I assumed that, you know, well, you got worms. I know with kittens, right? Their bellies get big.
Yeah.
If you have it. Well, apparently he's lost some weight. Because his belly's not as big as it was.
Well, after all that came out.
No kidding. No kidding. So we gave him some Greek yogurt with some active cultures and some banana, which is encouraging to him to eat the yogurt because it's plain. I don't want to add the sugar in. And then they had their grain, but they seem to be doing good. They're actually what is it now? It's gotta be, it's cold. Let's see here.
It's 36 degrees here.
I don't even know, but
we're having some cold days.
So it's 38 now, and it feels like 32, and they're laying outside. So you know he's better. He is like a watermelon.
He's like a watermelon.
He's a chunky monkey.
It's 46 now. It was 36 earlier.
Oh, wow. Gwen, I'm glad he's on his way back. Sorry, it's still not going.
Yeah.
Good. But yeah, he is like he's a little pumpkin.
Yeah,
he's Halloween. He's like a little pumpkin with legs. He looks just like Haxon looks just like his daddy, Sherman.
Aww.
Because both of those are Sherman and Fiona.
Aww.
Yeah. They're so cute.
So Heather, you mentioned you've got cows, chickens, and you've got the Berkshire pigs.
Not right now. We used to. We did for 4 years. We raised Berkshire.
Okay, I gotcha.
And then we needed to do some fence repair, and our boar was 500 pounds.
Holy smokes!
So sad. His name was Boris.
I like the littler pigs.
You could hand feed him.
Yep.
He was just so cool, but we needed to mend fencing because pigs are like the bigger they get, you know, they rub on everything to get their scratches, and everything gets knocked over and lifted by their noses. They're strong, and so we just haven't replaced them yet. So I don't know.
Pigs are why we can't have nice things.
Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm wanting to go more into. I have 2 goats. I have a wether, which is a fixed goat, and then a female Nubian. and they're so
Mhm.
sweet. And
That's
they've
right. I was thinking to myself, you have another animal, and it was
yeah,
the
yeah.
Nubian goats.
So
Mhm.
the female was supposed to be bred when I got her, but it didn't take, and then
Mhm.
COVID happened,
Mhm.
and we weren't able to get her trailered back to the lady that had that I got her from. And so these new people moved down like 6 months ago, like about a mile away from me, so it's not too
Mhm.
far, and they raise Nubian goats, and they've got papered. So I'm gonna call the lady and talk to her about all the details and see maybe this year we'll see when, but I would like to get her into milk and have some little
Mhm.
baby goaties.
That would be awesome.
Yes.
Yeah,
And the goat's milk is so nice to have.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so I've been currently working on milking my Dexter cow. And so I've been bringing her in. We built a stanchion. I've got a video on that. It's a milk stand, and
Uh-huh.
doing so good. Um, so I get her in there, and I've been doing every morning, brushing her out and filling her all around. And then I started
Mhm.
washing her udders and stuff, keeping her with her baby still. And
Uh-huh.
then we started doing the milk machine, but we kept having to do a few kinks. And this
Uh-huh.
morning I went to milk her and I got her all washed and I squirted out the first squirts of the milk and her foot was moving. Like,
Uh-huh.
like she's got a bar that I'm putting over her back and I must not have done it right. But her foot
Uh-huh.
kept going to where I couldn't get the milking machine connected to her.
Uh-huh.
And
Do you
so
do you like get her on the grain while you milk her?
yeah, yeah, she's got
Mhm.
grain, but then once it's almost gone, like you're
You better hurry
done.
up. Yeah.
You're done. So, so I let her go back out with the baby, and
Mhm.
I didn't get milk today, but we got
Mhm.
some milk yesterday, and it's so good.
Mhm.
It tastes like whole milk.
Isn't it awesome? I know. I
Wow.
love
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So I just need to watch a few videos on how to put that bar on right. I think that was the issue, and
Mhm.
so she shouldn't be able to move her legs forward like she was, and I was afraid that she was
Mm.
gonna either kick me or
Yeah.
kick the suction
Yeah.
part. So,
Mhm.
we're getting there. We're getting
We
We
there.
don't have that. Katie gets out there and milks the goats, and we have like the thing, a milk stand
Mhm.
that my husband and her husband built together, but where their heads go through and there's
Yeah, with
nothing
the
preventing their
thing.
feet. She just, tells them what to do and they listen to her. So they're
That's
trained.
right. Well,
There's
this is
only
just
two that have been milked, but right now she's letting them not continue to be milked through the winter. And then we're going to breed them again. Um, at, we're going to breed them like towards the end of winter. You know what I mean? So
mhm.
that it's still cool
I
out
know,
when
I was kinda thinking that would be better because a lot of times January and February are very cold here. So, I don't
Mhm.
know. I'll give that lady a call and talk to
Thank you,
her and get
Jan.
the
Yeah.
information on how to do that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so this cow has never been milked before,
Mm-hmm.
and she's just being so patient and so sweet.
Aw.
She knows her name, so that's why I chose her. She was my first cow, and she's an older cow, but
Aw.
she's such a good mama, and she
Aw.
comes, and we can
That's
pet her.
awesome.
So I figured she would be a good first time for me.
So you were talking about milking a cow, not a goat.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, cow with
Don't mind me.
horns. She's got horns too.
Oh my goodness. I was
Yeah.
thinking it was one of your Nubian goats. I lost the transition
Oh,
there. You
yeah, we
lost
can't
me. I'm
switch these,
sorry.
sorry. No, not yet. I would like to once I get her bred.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
cow.
follow Mariah at Grain Bin Coop on Instagram.
APSV Odyssey.
She's up in North Dakota, right by the Canada border, and she milks year-round cows. She's got a bunch of kids and stuff like that, and it's really interesting because she posted today that she's got Cookie, which is one of her milk cows, is giving her so much cream. She said it's causing issues because her customers
Mm-hmm.
need I don't know the right way to say it, but
Yeah.
I think she said something like there's more cream than the rest, and that's
Uh-huh.
causing an issue for the customers who want to make cheese and all that.
Hmm.
I don't know all the
Huh.
details, but I messaged her and I said, well, geez, I really just want all the cream.
Yeah, like our goats are bred for high cream production.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I never know. Now, mind you, my cheese making experience is limited to chèvre. I haven't made any other kind of cheese,
Yeah.
but I feel like it makes wonderful yogurt and wonderful chèvre cheese. I would need to learn more to understand why that causes any problems. Oh, did you
Yeah.
see what Nanny Tam posted? So I just wanted to speak to that when she said
Yeah.
earlier that it never feels better when you process one of your animals. I mean, I was crying over our meat birds. Like it's always a sad day when it's time to do that, but they had such a great life. And
Yeah.
all of our animals that we raise, compared to, like, I'm a meat eater, and if you buy it from the store, they're definitely not being loved on. They don't have a wonderful life. It's not all of the great things that our animals that we raise get to have. So, but that doesn't ever, it's that way for all of us.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I could say I haven't met anybody who doesn't feel the impact of that when
You
when
always
that
do.
Yeah.
it always happens.
And I
But
just wanted to follow up real quick. She said, so she's
Thank
got
you,
this
Mama.
huge jar. I can't see it. But anyway, it's a huge jar,
Mhm.
and it's about half cream.
Wow.
And she said, some people who buy from her, she can't sell it as milk because some people who buy from her need the milk, like for cheese making or for their kids.
Huh.
So,
So it must interfere, and the cream is better, of course, for butter, I guess.
Yeah.
I said to her, I want all the cream. Just send me the cream.
Yeah. Just give it
Right?
up.
Like, I
Because
don't know.
nobody wants
I
to
would
sell
be
it like
thinking,
that.
if somebody sold me milk and it was like half cream like that, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm pouring that cream off
Yeah.
the top.
Yeah.
We're
We're
gonna
having
have
less
butter.
milk. Sorry. Yeah.
Because the cream's gonna be more expensive, right? Like, I'm just thinking, you get half and half or cream at the store and you're paying like the same amount for a gallon of milk.
AG Mama.
Well, the interesting thing about like meat, like a couple years ago, we ran out of our own ground beef, and so we
Mhm.
went to the store and I bought some, and I was cooking it up for dinner, and the kids
Mhm.
all came and said, "What is that smell? It smells so gross," that we ended up throwing it
Huh.
away. And then
Really?
if we go out to eat, like our
Uh-huh.
stomach,
You can tell a difference in the taste, that's for sure.
we can't eat out anymore.
I
Mhm.
can tell you that compared to grocery store ground beef, when I brown it,
Mhm.
compared
Mhm.
to meat that I'm browning from our local beef,
Mhm.
there's usually a teaspoon of grease in the pan for the local beef, if that,
Mhm.
compared to the store, which I could probably pour off a cup.
At
Mhm.
least. Yeah.
It's vile. And
Mhm.
then some of
It
that
is.
tube
So
stuff,
true.
which is cheaper,
Mhm.
is also is concerning to me.
Mhm.
Yeah, it scares me. Like, I've been looking at a
Mhm.
lot of the, chicken in the stores for the last couple of years, and it's, like, yellow. And I'm
Mhm.
like, "That doesn't look right." And then it's, like,
Mhm.
like, this big, and I'm like, "No, that's not right. Chickens
Hmm.
aren't that big." You know?
My meat birds do get pretty fat. I mean, our meat birds got like 8 pounds.
Well, I'm talking like a breast.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
gotcha.
That's
Mhm.
big, and it's not, like,
It
cut in
is.
half and split open. It's, like, big old
Yeah.
thick,
Yeah.
big, huge yellow piece of chicken,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think.
When you're, yeah, the Cornish
So,
cross, when you raise them yourself, the food, it's so good.
I
Yeah,
know.
it's
I've
hard.
been listening to, different channels that are raising the American breeze or
Mhm.
breeze.
Bressy.
Mhm.
And yeah, and so
Mhm.
I've been, kind of watching and seeing, like, trying to learn about that to see if that's something that we wanna move into.
Same.
Mhm.
So,
Us
Same.
yeah.
too.
Mhm.
All right. Whichever one of us gets one, Okay, if it's one of you guys, please let me get first dibs on the eggs.
Right? Yeah. Well, I think
I'll do the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I
thanks,
would like
Stevie.
to find somebody so I could like at least
Hey, Charles.
Hey, Charles.
like butcher it and cook it all up from scratch and just see how we like it and if we like it, because the meat is supposed to be darker meat is what I hear, but I don't know if it's the whole bird.
Yeah, I think the only chicken that we raised that we didn't care for, I mean, obviously we would eat anything if we were starving, but what we didn't care for was the Royal Gray broilers. We did not care for that breed at all. It was a darker, chewy meat, and the Cornish cross, as gross as they are and how strange they are that they grow so quickly, and all the other things, the taste is the problem. They are so good.
They are.
It's hard to beat.
Well,
PSV Odyssey, I wanted to speak to this real quick on the spaghetti sauce and the taco seasoning. I've been hearing a lot of seasonings. Well, I've heard this honestly for quite a while when you talk about buying herbs in general, that you have to be careful because they could have, they could be contaminated or have like high levels of some kind of metal in them or something. And you can go to like an herb store and like, I just bought 4 ounces of thyme because I like to use thyme for like colds and things like that too. And I didn't grow any thyme this year. That's something I need to grow, but I bought some in a 4 ounce packet. Honestly, you probably altogether pay less than you would if you were to just get it at the store. Hey, Eric Wildman Survival. I just saw a little notification come through that he made like a bowl or a spoon or something out of a yucca plant. Before I could read the whole thing, it flipped away from me. But for anybody who's new, this is Heather with Milk and Honey Heritage Farms joining us. And hey, Ann Dale, good to see you. Hey, Gear Gryden.
Hey, Gear Gryden. Hey,
oh gosh, and guys, we only got like 5 minutes too, just as a heads up to everyone.
I was just going to tell you.
Goes faster when you're talking too.
It does. So Heather's launching along with Gail Southern Living a collaboration for the month of November called Homestead Crafts and Recipes, which is intended to encourage people to share like some of their crafts or recipes that are like old time, like from the old ways, old skills and things like that. So if anybody,
and you can dress up too if you want.
I think an Arc Wildman to come up with some really
bonnet.
I want Arc Wildman to wear the bonnet.
No,
yeah.
Mrs. Arc Wildman.
So just real quick, my sourdough video, because I know it's super late, and I have some other folks who've messaged me and said they are working on their videos, but they're going to be late. I'm not worried about late. We're just thrilled and proud of you guys for jumping in and doing it. So what I'm going to do is I am baking today. I started last night, late last night, because I got it to go up to double. So I'm going to bake after this. And then what I'm going to do is hopefully get it up. The video probably won't be out till tomorrow.
My daughter, when my daughter saw that video that I just shared where I showed how I go in and I don't know what it is about me and following rules. I've always got to break them, but especially with recipes.
Yeah, me too.
I go in and I doctor them up, and I shared how I go about doing that. Well, I'm going to change this to this, and I want this, And she's like, Mom, this is what you do with you need to make get me a book of all your recipes. Cause sometimes I leave them on that paper and I stuff them in a cookbook somewhere. So I'm happy that we're going to extend the whole Sourdough With Us collaboration. We'll just extend it through November because
you want to do that?
Yeah, just extend it through November. It's bread baking time too. So,
well, like with the friendship bread starter, because I did both the sourdough and then I did the friendship.
Yeah, and I shared that one.
Great donuts.
I'll bet.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah,
I'll bet. All right. Any last questions, guys? We've got just a couple more minutes.
Well, while we're waiting, Heather, we're really thrilled that you joined us today. So thanks so much for being here.
This is so fun.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, Heather and I have been talking for, oh gosh, I don't even know how long.
Wow.
Years?
Years?
At least a year.
Yeah.
At least 1 year. Yeah, this
Mhm.
is fun. I'm glad that you started a channel because you've got so much to share.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank
It's
you.
really cool.
I know
Mhm.
sometimes I'm like, oh boy, I don't know what I want to do for a video, and then I end up doing shorts to fill in the time because some of the projects that I do take longer than just
Mhm.
Mhm.
set the camera up and film it. It's like a couple, kind of like the sourdough, right? I had to
Mhm.
Yeah.
keep going for days, so I'm like, okay, well, I'll just stick fillers, like little shorts of
Yeah.
fun things or things to
Mhm.
learn or
Mhm.
You know what Glenna Broke Cowgirl would tell you? She would say, just post what you're doing.
Yep.
That's
Do
what she
it,
would
Charles.
say.
Mhm.
Yeah, Charles, join in. We're going to extend it through November.
Yes.
You heard it here first.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I want to see you in a
Yep.
bonnet.
For Heather.
But you don't
So-
have to do the bonnet, but you can also make some old-timey meals or crafts.
I wasn't going to wear a bonnet.
I'm not wearing one. Sorry.
I don't have one.
I don't either.
You have an apron?
Oh, I have
Just wear an
to
apron.
wear an apron. I make a hot mess when I'm cooking.
I made my apron.
I
Yeah,
was going to say the one that I have is the Rue apron.
yeah. I
Oh, pretty.
made mine,
Yeah.
and I used a pattern, but I didn't like it because it was more like a shirt. So I
Thank
cut
you for
the
coming, Nanny Tam.
back off of it, and I did straps,
Nice.
Mhm.
and then
Yeah.
I have like little loops
That's
on the
cute.
side to crisscross it and tie it in the back.
Yeah. Maybe I'll try to throw some ruffles on one that I have and
I'm
get
not
one sewn up
a
real quick.
seamstress like this. What did he say?
He
He
said him with a
me
bonnet won't work.
wouldn't work.
I don't know. What did they wear? What did they wear back then, Charles? That's something you need to find out. You can wear one of their hats
Thank
or
you,
something.
Mama. I like my Rue
Not the
apron
men one.
too.
Mhm.
I bought my Rue apron originally because I was getting filthy in the summer because I don't have my vests on and my clothes get
Yeah.
all full of pig feed and everything else.
Mhm. Oh yeah, that's nice to have.
Yeah.
I wear an apron like all the time, like whenever I'm cooking or doing any soapy lotion, any kind of stuff like that. But good idea to wear it outside for
Last year I
and
made
handling
some
the
with
animals.
some old jeans.
Okay.
And I cut. Oh, we have to.
Go ahead, finish your
gotta-
sentence.
So with some old jeans, like I save old jeans that you can't wear anymore, and I
Nice.
cut them up into squares, and I've made
Oh
aprons
yeah,
with some decorative, like
wonderful
flowers
for
and
with the
stuff.
animals, huh?
Yeah, because it's thicker. I wear a beard. There we go. You can tie it up like this.
All right, guys. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and end the live today. We'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for coming, Heather. This has been fun.
Yeah,
And I
thank
hope
you guys.
you're welcome. I hope everybody has a great rest of your day. We'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.